The rate of perceived exertion is basically a pain scale. But of course we don't call it a pain scale, right? Doctors don't call it a pain scale either. When you go to the doctor's office and they say, you may feel a little bit of pressure here, buckle up. Because they're saying basically, this is going to fetching hurt, right? But this is kind of a pain scale on how hard are you exerting yourself? How hard are you going? Now, the original pain scale that was done for fitness was called the Borg scale, and it was not created out of Star Trek. Get it? Borg, Star Trek. I am so funny. I'm such a nerd. Okay, so we've got the Borg scale, and it starts from 6 and goes to 20. Now, why on earth, what was the intelligence involved in 6 to 20 on a pain scale? Because if I was asked Megan and she's doing a run, okay, on a scale of 6 to 20, how are you feeling right now? She might think, why the heck is he asking me on a scale of 6 to 20? And that's going to completely take my attention away from what I'm doing to try and think about that. But the reason why they did that is because if you add a 0 to it, it is significantly close to where their heart rate is probably at. So if you say the person is doing somewhat hard and they say about a 13 on a scale of 6 to 20, you add a 0 on that, oh yeah, we're doing light cardio here. So it's somewhat hard. Their heart rate's at a 130. They're in zone 1, right? Or if they say, oh my goodness, this is really hard. I feel like a 17 out of 6 to 20. Okay, you add a 0, 170 beats per minute. So really cool idea, but applicability, it's not really good. So we've just gravitated towards an adjusted scale of 1 to 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, 5 is about mid-range. Well, they're saying here 3 to 4. Okay, I find most people when they're starting to get warmed up, they'll say about a 5. Okay, 6 is heavier. 7 is really hard. 8 or 9, super difficult. 10, we need to back it down a little bit, or unless we're doing a short interval and they're doing sprints, 10's okay, 9 or 10. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a very easy way to get verbal feedback from them on how hard they're going. And that is much, much more relevant if you do not have a heart rate monitor on the client, to ask them on a scale of 1 to 10 how they're feeling. I do it all the time if the client doesn't have a heart rate monitor. Doesn't matter what we're doing. I say on a scale of 1 to 10, how are we feeling right now? Okay. Keep in mind that a lot of times clients will not really tell you how they're feeling because they want to impress you. Okay, so it's much better feedback to have a heart rate monitor on them. Can't emphasize that enough. I just am a huge fan of a heart rate monitor. Yes, yeah, the Carbonin method. We're going to go there today. Yeah. In answer to your question about being in zone 3, so this is a CrossFit workout that I did just the other day, and I have my heart rate monitor on it, and I don't know if you guys can see right here, but for me, my maximum heart rate is 176, age predicted, because I'm 44 years old, okay? And for that time frame of 15 minutes, it was a 15-minute AMRAP, so I was up there in zone 3 for the entire 15 minutes, okay?
Do you get that information from the thing you wear, or is there an app that you put that in, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I wear a chest strap. So, yeah. I think did I talk to you guys?
Yeah, the Polaris ones or something. Yeah. Okay.
So what that does is that transmits the pulse to the receiver, which will either be a watch or you can use your app on the phone, that sort of thing. But so that's kind of a, you can stay in zone 3 But I needed the handicap parking spot when I was finished the WOD, because I couldn't walk out to the parking lot with good legs. I was wanting to crawl out to the parking lot. That was really, really hard. Okay. So most of your programming, you do not, when you program a design for somebody, and they're in stage 3, that doesn't mean that they stay in zone 3 for the entire workout, unless you just hate them. You take them up there for a little bit, and then down a little bit, and then up there for a little bit, and down a little bit, And it also depends on what phase of the OPT model that you're doing it with. Because if you're in like the endurance phase of the OPT model, we might take them up there for a sustained period for a little bit, and then take them down for a rest. If we're doing maximal power, we don't want them up there for too long. We want them to recover and then be up there for a couple sets and then back down again. We want them to be able to recover substantially between sets. Okay? So let's talk about that.